folks,
Right.
PopsToberFest is rolling on, and Lake Placid. Who thought that I'd be so thrilled about watching Lake Placid? And who would think Baron is in the house and he's never seen Lake Placid? So that's right. We get to put up the
I know.
first time watching banner. Baron, what? Lake Placid, my friend. I cannot believe you had not seen Lake Placid. This was a surprise for me. I did not expect you to be completely new on this one.
Well, when it came out, which was 1999, it was a busy time in my life,
Hmm.
and what didn't really get a chance to sit and watch, go out and see a lot of movies and such like that, or even watch them on the telly. Um, so yeah, there was a big section of my life that kind of got because of
Yeah, yeah,
various life situations. And
sure.
but it's like no time than the present to do it. And I was watching it with my current long suffering with me. Made sure that she could watch it. I figured she would like watching it, and so it was like a double take for us. It's like okay, and of course I remember what you sat back and asked me before about memorable performances, and I told
Hmm.
that to the long suffering. And but as we go along, I'll let you know what she said about stuff like that. So
Perfect. Perfect. I will tell you that the film has lived on in legacy in my house and most people that I know because of that character and the twist that kind of comes from it.
We heard a man was bit in half.
It's a crocodile.
50 feet.
They came here to study it.
Some kind of mutant. Nobody goes near the water.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going back in the water. They came here to save it.
You set a trap on the beach.
Come and get it!
The question is,
Where is he?
who will save them?
Kelly!
Lake Placid.
He didn't eat me. Because he just ate a cow, stupid.
Rated R.
Film the photos here on IMDb for some reason are absolutely some of the worst quality that I've ever seen for any of our work. So we will just randomly pick some and have to bounce back and forth, folks. So I apologize. They're very oddly discolored. Like they got filters on them or
yeah,
something. I don't know. They're very strange looking. So general premise is opening sequence, dude in a lake, going in for a dive. He's supposed to be tagging a beaver or something. I don't know, an otter, whatever it is. And he's like having this back
yeah,
and forth with this sheriff who's brilliantly played again by Brendan Gleeson, who's just a phenomenal actor.
oh,
And he scuba
mhm,
dives down and suddenly he's being attacked. And they don't know what it is. They bring in Bill Pullman, who is supposed to be fish and wildlife. And then they have a little
mhm,
backstory with Bridget Fonda, and she's been like banging her boss in this museum. So for some reason, they send her out there, and she's trying to get away from
mhm,
life and do that. So she shows up, and then you have Oliver Platt, who is kind of an eccentric crocodile aficionado, and he shows
mhm,
up basically because all of the things are pointing to this giant crocodile is taking up resident in this little tiny lake. And you have this little sequence of events through the whole movie on what they're going to do to try to, capture, kill, do
mhm.
whatever to this thing. And it's just dumb monster fun for the most part. And I pretty much told Baron that I said, look, this movie is not great, but it's dumb monster fun, but it's not Anaconda bad because we get a great performance because Betty White is in this movie. And that's what I'm going to tell you for the moment. We'll come around to Betty White more later on. And I will admit, and the other thing I want to say is this is also pre-production of Phantom Menace. I say that
Mhm.
because CGI is really, really wonky in this era. So you'll
Yeah.
have shots that work and you'll have shots that do not work. So it's not cleaned up well because Lucasfilm hasn't rolled out the next era of CGI updates that came out of the Star Wars experiment of that trilogy, which that, and then of course what Jim Cameron was doing over there on the other side of the aisle with Abyss and his project.
Mhm.
So they're all moving technology forward. This one's in that tweener where some stuff works, some stuff doesn't. Don't know what to tell
Mhm.
you, folks. So, Baron, was it living up a little bit to what you expected?
You know, I was expecting a popcorn fun film like that, and it succeeded.
Hmm.
It's like you sit down, and then of course like you're talking about, memorable performances are good performances. And let's face it, you listed off some great actors, that they have in there. You have Lone Star, we meet for the last time, for the
Yep.
first time,
Yep.
in there. And, of course, we have to remember, of course, Gleeson, who's also the father of the Weasley twins.
Yep.
And you wouldn't guess that, from watching him in there, he's an Irishman. I mean, it's like, boy, he did a good job disguising his accent.
True.
And, so everything across there was great except for one performance. There was one performer in there that failed. I suppose we could, when we go along, we start assessing the memorable stuff. I can bring that up later. But, I kind of like this alligator, though.
Yeah, the croc alligator. I don't know. I've never figured out.
Yeah.
I've never figured out why they made it a crocodile, except that crocodiles do get bigger, I guess. So that's why they had to make it a crocodile. But there's no reason to expect a saltwater crocodile will end up in America's inlet waters. That was kind of the stretch. I think the American alligator it's fine. It was just dumb monster fun for the most part. And Bridget Fonda is okay. Oliver Platt we'll get to. Pullman's fine. Them having a nice sort of like slow passive romance that doesn't really go is fine.
Right.
They have good chemistry together. Brendan Gleeson and Oliver Platt, I think they're bickering forth is a nice element for both characters. I like that part. I actually think more than maybe the character on its own. So yeah, it works off pretty well.
They should have continued on. Did a movie with just those guys going out there, doing monster hunters or whatever. That would have been great.
But there's our big twist. In the middle of all the chaos, the movie kind of screeches to a halt, if nothing else, for the first time you watch it, because you're like, what? And they're all watching this and like, I can't believe this. And they're like, look in the water. Yeah, that's right. Betty White's feeding the thing cows. And she has because the thing ate her husband, and she feels bad because if anyone tries to say, if she says anything, it's going to get killed. And she just feels bad for it. She's had it for a very long time. She's been feeding it for a very long time. And I'll just say, Baron, I'd love to have seen your face and Mrs. Longsuffering's face when foul mouth, and I'm talking foul mouth, Betty White is throwing down. It was phenomenal. Am I right?
It was. Yeah, I was laughing my ass off. I mean, it was just, it's like, so, watching her on Match Game for all those years, and of course the reruns to it, and how feisty she can be, and of course on that show with the double entendres and such like that, I knew she had it in her. It was just great seeing her unloading on screen. The woman I know is there that can do that, and it's like, great job, Betty. Great job. You show why you are a national treasure.
She sure was.
She
sure was. She is. She was married to a famous personality, Alan Ludden, and just a complete treasure. Obviously, from most people will know her from Golden Girls and some of her different appearances, like on game shows and stuff and the like. But all of her different performances that led up to that, even her own show back in the day in the 1950s, had her own little Betty White show back in the day, folks. Remember that?
Right. Mary Tyler Moore, and
coming into her own, I think, around the Mary Tyler Moore era, and then of course this massive run that she had on being all sorts of game shows. Match Game is probably the one that most people have seen a lot of, but she was on like Password and stuff like that too. So
because her husband was on. I mean,
he's a producer, and So, but the sweet kind of grandma feel that you kind of might have goes out the complete window when she's dropping all sorts of, you crazy bastard cork sucker. You cue your Johnny Dangerously stuff to say that I try not to say because it's unhinged. And this is certainly a reaction everyone has. Like, what is happening is how you and the audience will feel. So they don't give you any other distractions on screen. They just let you sit there and laugh and have a moment you will not
Right.
forget. You'll never be able to think of Lake Placid and not think about Betty White and her foul mouth feeding cows to this giant alligator crocodile thing. It is, oh, it's nuts. To the film's credit,
Yeah.
which we should also just get out of the way as well, is a lot of the crocodile alligator things are actual mechanical beasts. So Stan Winston, the great Stan Winston, special effects guy,
Mhm.
um, did create this sort of like hydraulic mechanical machinery to make that work, and that deserves a lot of credit because it is very believable and it's done very, very well. The other thing I think also works, and unlike I mentioned the aforementioned atrocity Anaconda, this is actually written by somebody who can actually write screenplays. Now, I'm not a huge Ally McBeal fan. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of his work. To be
Mhm.
honest, they're just like not my thing. But David E. Kelly knows how to
Mhm.
write dialogue. He knows how to write characters.
Yeah.
They're all different and interesting. And we compare that to a lot of other
Yeah.
things that we have, that especially Baron and I have spent time talking about. But this guy's got a long list of credits that date back to like L.A. Law, and he's on Chicago Hope and The
Mhm.
Practice, and yeah. So David E. Kelly knows how to write, and for him to have also
Right.
done a creature movie, I think is a really phenomenal thing. This feels. We talked about
Yeah.
Frighteners on this little
Yeah.
PopsToberfest thing. It's another one of these gems that people won't know. Like if you're a David E. Kelly fan, you might be shocked to know he also wrote Lake Placid and the dialogue for Betty White's character, which is
Mhm.
phenomenal to know. So
Right. Yeah, he's great for writing quirky characters. I mean, obviously, Alan McBeal was all quirky, and stuff like that. This movie's not any different. I mean, there's a lot of quirkiness with the characters, especially Betty. When we when we got that, and it works, and it works.
works
It's
really
like,
well.
you know, this is all around a horror film, and you're still laughing, and it's natural.
Yep. Yep. He
I mean,
he did a really good job with this one. I kind of forgot his name was on it, and I haven't read a lot of other stuff or kind of dove into a lot of the other stuff that he's done over the last few years. But this was always one of those gems
mhm.
that I really just always enjoyed. It's always been one of those we in the kind of horror fans we kind of enjoy a lot. There are other
Yeah.
characters and moments like the Oliver Platt character is like this rich millionaire guy. His
Hmm.
character is just completely inconsistent. Like it's all over the map sometimes with what his decision making is. But I think I'm
Hmm.
okay with it because he has sort of like that Richard Branson arrogance about him. Like he'll just do it. Like he's fine. He's already
Right.
he's so rich and he's done so much. Oh, I'll just jump in the water. Makes no sense why he would do that. But
Right.
he's like that kind of arrogant. And then also because he's so rich, the deputy is like, yeah, I'll jump your bones. I'll do you whatever. Like she's breaking all the rules
Yeah.
as the hot deputy, and it becomes
Hmm.
forgivable because of how they kind of piece it all together. It's not great, but it's not
No.
horrible. And I don't think I ever am taken out of the movie with any of that kind of stuff. So all of that I think is
No.
pretty much the positives of this movie, right, Baron?
Mhm. Right, exactly, and the fact that the actor, the character is going for Oliver Platt's character is, showing bad taste in men. How apropos because she's married to Patton Oswalt.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll stop
Yeah.
right there. But
Yeah.
but no, I mean, yeah, exactly. It's believable in the bizarre way, surrealistic way. Would that be kind of the best way to say? There's a lot of surrealistic situations that's in this, as well as the quirkiness, stuff that you would see back in the 1960s in some of the TV shows. Like people don't realize it, but Green Acres was a surrealistic comedy, and in dealing with everything that's all around that. Hey, look, it's Adam Arkin. It's good.
Adam Arkin's got a little bit of part.
All right, well,
He's the guy that's banging Bridget Fonda's character, and yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
her too. Yeah, what's
yeah.
her name?
She's officially, yeah. It's like,
Mariska
okay.
Hargitay. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I wonder which if he made the right choice there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, it works pretty much across the board. I don't think there's anything. The sheriff, Brendan Gleeson as this little sheriff is kind of the
Oh,
other comedic element that carries the film. The film is really his film because he's
yeah.
in the opening scene. They don't want to believe it. Don't really know what's going on. he's the one that's kind of, his reaction is evolving over time with how to deal with this. He's even stuck in the middle
Mm-hmm.
of, we're going to catch it or kill it. He has all the right lines
Mm-hmm.
too. We're like, well, we tried to, now we have to kill, like you feel really, really connected through the sheriff. And again, it all goes back to how
Yeah.
well Kelly wrote this. And I think your TV analogy is very apropos because he is, renowned as being a TV writer. So I think that the fact that this
Mm-hmm.
feels very grounded in those type of approaches makes perfect sense for sure.
Right. I mean, yeah, he was absolutely brilliant. He was basically the high point of the film for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I can really, identify with this guy for some reason. I don't know what it is, but I really could identify. And it was always, it's like, what's he going to say next type
Mm-hmm.
of thing.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. He's very quick-witted.
and yeah,
He's mocked in
and
the
he
opening
delivers it.
sequence. Yeah, he does. So you're right. And he's mocked in the opening scene. So now he's like the butt of the joke that the audience won't like because we're like, why are you making fun of this guy? He didn't do anything to you. That guy gets killed. Then he's mocked again. He's mocked again. It's like that kind of stuff. And then at the end of the day, the sheriff is always sort of like proven right.
Right.
He's like the audience. He's like, we all know what's going on here. Why these characters? So I think it's why we do enjoy the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Another shot of Betty. Oh, she's just so good. Oh,
Yeah.
golly. Can't get enough Betty White.
Yeah. I hope you all get killed. Basically, I had it.
Yeah, you deserve it. So, yeah, this is one of the gruesome scenes that they kind of go for.
Mm-hmm.
And Bridget Fonda's character is, she's fine for what she's supposed to be. The damsel in distress, out of the fish out of water, the princess in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
It's done. They keep repeating sort of like the same feelings, and I don't know that really works well. I'm not a massive Bridget Fonda fan, anyway. By the way,
No.
but
Right.
you know what? I also am not going to bag on her either. I mean, look, she got to marry Danny Elfman, so she did something right. What am I gonna say? And then she dropped out of acting. She's like, hey, I'm going to take care of my family. So yeah, good on her.
Yeah, that's noble. That's noble.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. The long suffering turned to me. She goes about great performances, memorable performances, and she goes, Bridget Fonda, character, and it's like doesn't. Yeah, it's like and I found her character the weak point in this whole thing.
Agreed.
How she was playing the character, it seemed a little erratic. When she's when we first meet her at the museum and everything leading up, and like you said, kept on the same thing and the mosquito and stuff like that. It just didn't.
It was all dialogue driven, right? And I think that they could have served to fix her character to make it a little more palatable. Was that she's so over prepared for going into the woods, like she doesn't know what to expect, right? So instead of having the mosquito comment, she'd have it like a little purse bag, and she'd pull out spray and she'd be spraying as though that would work because she's going to keep. So she'll spray it thinking that it'll work, and she can keep walking and it won't. Those kinds of things would have worked better than the constant witchiness and the constant back and forth, which was supposed to be. And this is David E. Kelly's comedy, right? Because the David E. Kelly comedy is the man and the woman insult each other to the point where they start to love each other and fall in bed together. And it's like, that's such a bad 90s trope. And they had decent chemistry, though, her and Bill Pullman, but it also, you kind of felt like reaching through the screen to shake Bill Pullman and just leave, man. When he gets in the truck to leave, like, just keep driving because she ain't worth dealing with. She's way too much.
No.
High maintenance is an understatement with her character.
Yeah. Now we know why Adam Arkin went with the other girl. I mean, honestly, it's
probably.
I mean, not to be, and I hate to say it, I don't think her acting was that good either. It's the delivery of some of the stuff. I don't know. I just her character is one that took it out, took me out of the movie the most. Honestly, I mean, like we were saying before, Oliver Platt, great actor, right? And is erratic, but the thing is this should not be, but it is believable. And I think you have to give a lot of kudos to Platt. I mean, how it's written, but how he was doing it. It's like, wow, this is like the fourth Doctor on Nose Candy. just all over the place. Uh, and of course, Bill Pullman, the leading man, doing what Bill Pullman does good.
Yeah.
Except he didn't give us a big speech about aliens and
No.
Independence Day, but he wasn't Lone Star either. But hey, he's still Bill Pullman. And of course, like you said, Gleeson, and Betty White. I mean, all great performers. But then there's that weak one, and that was fun.
For those of you who've never seen it, sorry about the spoiler alert now, but there's a big twist at the end. Be
Yeah.
warned. There's a second there's a second crocodile. They're a breeding pair.
Mhm.
And she's here at the end of the movie walking down the end of her boat dock to feed bread to little babies. So Lake Placid can live on. And yes, there are several Lake Placid movies. The movie kind of set itself up to lend itself to that. It is sort of a
Yeah.
clever little play just to see more of her. And she's like, the best line of that is when she just like nibble on mommy's toes. And you in the audience are like, are you out of your bloody mind? She is still just as crazy as ever. Like she is just not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she is not attuned to these things grow into these giant beasts that are eating whole cows. She's like, no, just nibble on. The husband got ate. Like, what is wrong with you? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, what a
and she
fun
thought it
ending.
was, the horse went down. He went to save the horse and got ate. The poor thing. And she's
Yeah,
talking about the crocodile.
yeah,
I mean, and that's kind of the one thing. I mean, I realize it's silly, it's quirky, it's and then the bit of surrealism, like I was talking about before, it comes in the fact that you have this fresh saltwater crocodile, or it's a freshwater, I can't remember, whatever. This big crocodile from India, supposedly 100 and some years old because of how big it is,
yep,
but it's living in probably one of the most hostile climes you can put a alligator or a crocodile in, because Maine gets pretty freaking cold half the year,
yeah.
and those things don't hibernate.
Yeah. It was probably the most like silly elements to have migrated for it to be a
Yeah.
crocodile, having it migrate to such a cold environment
Mhm.
and be this active. It's like it would have just done better to have shown
Mhm.
up in the Everglades. A bunch of alligators are
Right.
gone or something like that. I don't know. It's fine. It's all a sort of a
Yeah.
forgettable fact. So this is the kind of
Oh
stuff
yeah.
that this is my wife. She can't seem to understand when I pick and choose my battles. What gets me hung up? I'm like, because it didn't matter enough to the absurdity of the story. Like it didn't matter enough. Like
Right.
it just I just kind of went along with that part of it. And there are other movies where
Yeah.
you're like, that's fine. Sometimes it does bother me. I don't know how to explain it all the time. Let's get back to the
Yeah.
let's get to the behind the scenes. This is them working on the croc, on the
Mhm.
Stan Winston folks. Mechanical head. Phenomenal, man. There they are in the
Yeah. It's
water, testing him out, helping him run. Yeah, interesting. Beautiful work. Little raptor there on the left.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So on location, different shots. There you go. How great and how realistic it looks. A couple different ones.
Yeah. I mean, that thing looked great in this movie. Uh, and unlike Bruce the Shark, it seemed to work.
Yeah, by now we figured it out. We can definitely get it to work. And I will say there's scenes, like I said,
Yep.
there's shots that
Mhm.
work, and there are shots where the CGI is used and doesn't work as well. So
Right.
and the irony is some of the posters are kind of the problem with this movie because it's played up as like, look at that.
Yeah.
That looks like the exact same poster to what's it called, Deep Water, the one where like they're abandoned at sea kind
Yeah.
of thing. It just feels more like a terrifying horror poster.
Mhm.
That one at least feels more like a B movie
Mhm.
monster one. But I
Yeah.
feel like that's part of the problem is like it isn't. We don't get enough of the comedic elements of
Yeah.
this movie because it's not played as serious as the marketing is making it out to play. So
No. I mean, they're
not at
almost
all.
making it look like a Jaws thing with coming out of the water
Hmm.
like that. It's like you're expecting
Yeah,
boom, boom,
yeah,
boom, boom. Yeah. And yeah, that's just it. It's a horror comedy. Uh, And as you were stating, letting things go, that's where I threw in that surrealistic element in there. It's like, it shouldn't be, but it is. So, okay, let's just go slightly Salvador Dali on this
yeah.
and just sit back and enjoy it for what it is. And you just can't help but be entertained. I mean, the long sufferer and I both enjoyed that. Enjoyed most of everything with the actors except for, like I said, the what we considered the weak one in there. Uh, And yeah, she was taken aback by some of the graphicness of it, some of the when they were discovering leftover bits, or even that opening scene
Yep, yep.
when basically if the sheriff had another guy with him in that boat, they could have had 2.5 men. I
Correct.
know, bad joke, but
Oh,
I couldn't.
maybe.
But but
It definitely leaned into some gruesome moments, or tried to be, and it's
yeah,
trying to be in that era, right? So we're like around the time when Scream is at its peak. That stuff
right,
from Kevin Williamson has rejuvenated horror. We get the Halloween H2O
right,
spin-off stuff. You get this new rejuvenation
right.
interest in horror like that. It's got to have a lot of blood splatter to it. That, we talked
Hmm.
about The Frighteners before. It was the fact that it wasn't
Right.
all that graphic, even though it got stuck with a stupid rated R label, and it was very unfair to that movie, where it really didn't have anything that
It
edgy. This
was
movie definitely had some edgier stuff that would have been at least a conversation about being a rated R movie. Now, again, the
right.
language itself was all over the map, around the Great Betty writing in particular.
Hmm.
So,
Right.
yeah,
I mean, and it also shows that that dank humor, the violent humor. Violence can be funny, or the
yeah,
results of violence. I know it sounds odd, but this is fantasy world, folks.
yep.
And a film that we both adore because it's PopsToberFest, American Werewolf in London. I mean, for crying out loud, look at all the humorous moments involving whether it was a violent scene or the leftovers. I mean,
Hmm.
Dominic, no,
Yeah.
Griffin Dunn as the corpse that keeps on encouraging him to unalive himself. David Naughton's character. It's just absolutely hysterical.
Yeah,
Absolutely
it never
hysterical.
stops and
And
never lets. It keeps breaking the tension down, so
yeah,
you're not getting too overloaded. This movie never really even,
right.
I think, got tense. I mean, it had
No.
moments of anxiety, but this is definitely me. Uh, so, Baron, how would you score the old Lake Placid experience?
Oh. Okay. Overall, 3 buckets of popcorn. But
Mm.
I'm adding a bag for Betty.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I'm going to come down at 2.5, and it would be in large part because of Betty, and the effects.
Mhm.
I like the fact that we have a
Yeah.
lot of practical effect moments. The entire sequence when Oliver Platt's in the water and he's almost like nose to nose with this thing, it's done really
Mhm.
well, and it actually looks like a live animal. Like, it
Yeah.
actually is really pretty good. So, and I will admit,
Mhm.
I have a
And
fun
how he got
experience.
himself up.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
And how he
and
got himself out of that situation.
very good. And I will admit too, it's not PG-13, but it's not a hard R
No.
either. So I feel like I have to be fair to the movie. Like, I feel like if I get more harsh on it, it's really unfair. It actually should be closer to a 3, to be honest. But there's just not a lot of substance here. It's just a dumb creature movie,
Yeah.
and it's a bunch of
Right.
characters that do dumb things and are wrong-headed. But Brendan Gleeson, Betty White, the general story, it probably maybe could lean towards a 3. It's just all those elements are in place for
Mhm.
it to be that kind of. And if nothing
Right.
else, it is a fun, rewatchable, dumb creature movie of the '90s. You know what you're
Right.
getting, and you're not going to be disappointed when you're done.
Mhm.
And I'm glad you enjoyed it for those reasons too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the reason why I gave it 3 buckets of popcorn is just that the monster work, beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. The scenery, how they were shooting it, those are big important things. And for the most part, the actors in how they're delivering the lines, especially Dominic Gleeson, who the wife kept on going, okay, he's going to get off now. Oh, he's going to get off now. And it's like, are you rooting for him? No, I just got him pegged as one of those people that's going to get off somewhere along the film. It's like, leave him alone. I like the guy. Um, but yeah, the
Mrs.
performances.
Long Suffering is we can't she's so invested in Lake Placid, we can't determine if she was cheering for or against the sheriff, the most likable character of the movie. Oh, that's great. I'm glad that we got her that involved in this movie. That makes it even better. She's so invested that
Oh,
she's
oh yeah,
she's emotionally reacting. We don't even know. Are you rooting against or for? What calling her shot? I got twitched in there.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But
that's
I
awesome.
think the performances is what sold me. The monster work is what sold me. That's why I give it. And of course, Betty White just gives that little extra bag on the end
100%.
there because Oh, I mean, if you could even, yeah, it's just great. It's just great.
It's
And
crazy.
you're talking about the movie Anaconda. Let us not forget that one of the sequels to this movie was Lake Placid meets Anaconda.
Yeah, I don't even want to acknowledge. So the last time I involved myself with any of that, the Anaconda part of it, the formerly known
Yeah.
as Mystery Science Theater guys did riff tracks. They did a riff tracks of
Mhm.
Anaconda that I had a
Yep.
special press event I could go to and had a good time and a good laugh at the expense of Anaconda and its stupidity. Never to sit through it again.
Mhm.
And I'm not watching all the Lake Placid sequels. So I'm good. I'm good with one. I'm not going to risk it. I tried
Me
to
too.
risk it with The Howling. It was a disaster. Other than saying I got to experience some Christopher Lee that I hadn't seen. There's no reason to watch any more
Right.
of those either. I'm good. I'm good in a universe where only certain ones are good. So something has to be
Yeah.
really, really hyped up by multiple people that I trust to say it's good enough for my time to want to warrant. So that's how
Right.
I ended up in the Final Destination bucket because I just washed my hands of that franchise. But the new one is that good, and I will come down as well. Yeah. So only one Lake Placid for me. We came down again, pretty
Yeah.
similar, 2.5, 3.5, Midland. That's a
Yeah.
strong watch. Basically, that's a good watch, especially if you're into this kind of stuff, and you guys can tell us what you think. But
Mhm.
yeah, Betty White, man,
Right.
she's home run.
And just leave it with the little babies. Just leave it with the little babies. I mean,
Yep.
that's all you need. It's a perfect ending. It's like, okay, there they are, and now you can just imagine what's going to happen down. But that's just it.
Yeah,
Again, it comes back to us viewers to
I could write a
surmise
sequel.
things.
I could write a sequel depending on who I could get to come back. The problem is I don't think I could get any of these actors. They're all too good to come back. So my problem with doing a sequel
Yeah.
is I don't get people that can come back. So if I can't get Brendan Gleeson, Bull Pullman, I don't care about Bridget Fonda coming back. So if I can't get one of those two to come back, I don't have a connective tissue to this movie
Right.
because I could even get around Betty White because I could just have a newspaper that pops up that she's been eaten by this creature, right? And hence the person that knows what's actually going on shows up to help
Yeah.
navigate the situation, which Brendan Gleeson would be great. And how do you build the rest of the cast and how do
Right.
you move forward? I'm not watching the movies to
And
find out
he
how bad they butchered it, but yeah.
and he's got to do. If that's the case, he's got to do the pops
Yeah.
because he
Yeah.
knows what happened.
Yeah. You have to just be like, wow, nibble mommy's little toes went sideways on her. That's all I know. So, folks, make sure you check out that description to connect with Baron, what's going on with him, the playlist for other PopsToberFest conversations like this one. Make sure you check back. We'll have some other great films to talk about, and you have a good October spooky, scary season as well. Thanks to Baron. Thank you, Ren Brother. It's always great to have you with us. And folks, you guys
Always
take care.
fun to be here.
Yeah,
Happy
it's awesome.
Halloween.
Ooh, take care, buddy.
How is it a crocodile is in New England?
If he's close, we'll find him.
They have come to this quiet lake to study a deadly phenomenon.
What is this, some kind of mutant?
But they are the ones being watched. The ones being followed.
How many deputies you got?
The ones
I got something on the screen.
being hunted. Lake Placid.
I'm rooting for the crocodile.
Rated R.